What are we seeing in Ukraine? A continuation? A consolidation? What is to be done here? Retired Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis is with us again tonight. He's a senior fellow and military expert for defense priorities. Colonel, your assessments are not always fan favorites, but you have been spot on for months now, saying Russia's going to slowly but surely chip away at eastern Ukraine. So at this point, can that part of Ukraine be saved?
No, I mean, it can't. I mean, there's no rational path that it can be saved. And, you know, for all of these declarations from the G7 that they're going to be with Ukraine through the end and you know, maybe by the winter that the war could be changed. I mean, there's no factual basis for that. It's just an aspiration until anyone's talking about, you know, thousands of frontline tanks, artillery pieces, our personnel carriers, anti-aircraft systems. Until that's even on the table, you can't even have this conversation. And even then, because of the dramatic loss of life every single day on the Ukrainian front lines, it's not even clear who would operate that machinery if it came in. But to date, there has been nothing but platitudes offered by the G7, and that is not stopping the actual Russian artillery, rockets, and air power that's pounding away in the Donbass every day.
Let me lay two things on the table at once. Ukraine falls, and the concern is Russia starts ripping its way through Europe. And then, every few weeks, we see another $500 million weapon shipment going to Ukraine. You know, like bi-weekly, we're seeing $500 million going out there. And critics say the money could be used here. Ukraine is losing, slowed down, stop spending money. How do you balance those two concerns?
Well, look, you just have to look at what's realistically possible. And as I published in a piece in Foreign Policy this afternoon, that, look, because there's no rational path, what the United States should be doing is putting at least as much diplomatic pressure on this situation or effort to help them find a solution that ends the war. And let me point out that even though they're losing the Donbas today, right now they still have full possession of Kharkiv and they have full possession of Odessa. If they keep fighting in the hope that someday they turn this stuff around, it's likely they'll lose one and possibly both of them by the end of the summer or the early fall if they keep fighting. And so the answer is they need to find a negotiated settlement to save their country and to preserve the 80% they have right now.
Right. I read your piece in Foreign Policy. In essence, you're saying freeze, stop while you're ahead. Okay, so you say try to hammer out a deal, and the U.S. needs to be involved with that behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, whatever. In Foreign Policy, you write, along with Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, quote, "It is in the U.S. national interest to prevent the war from escalating in Ukraine or expanding beyond it." So what is negotiable, Colonel? What should the deal say?
Well, I mean, you know, because this is the Ukraine people who are going to live with the results, it has to be completely theirs. And, you know, we can suggest things all we want, but nobody can make that decision except for the government in Kiev and the people. And a good place to start is what happened in March in Istanbul, where both the Russians and the Ukrainians agreed that general outlines of a deal, which were that Ukraine would declare military neutrality, that they would not join NATO, and that the Donbass and Crimea were not going to come back to Ukraine. Now, that was the deal in March, and they could have saved a bunch of cities that have fallen since then, but they can prevent more cities from falling by going back to some version of that. And, you know, we just got to hope that Russia will play along with that like they would have in March. But the longer this goes, the less likely Russia is to be satisfied with what they have, and that's the real problem right now.
Boy. Even suggesting people trust Russia, that's a hard sell at this time, too. It's a hard sale to everyone at this very moment.
Well, you don't have to trust. Nobody's trusting Russia. We don't trust Russia. We don't trust Russia at all. We just have to make a deal, because if you don't make a deal, there's trust doesn't even enter into it. Artillery shells keep falling and you keep losing more cities. That's what this is all about.
All right. Understood. And you spell it out in that Foreign Policy piece. Sir, Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, we'll see you again. Thank you very much.